Hello and welcome back. This video is going to be about in-ear monitors. If you've ever looked at somebody on stage and wondered what the hell is going on, this is also for musicians that may not have used them before. This will show you exactly how to use them, when you can use them, and to be honest, why they're quite a lifesaver in most circumstances. Let's have a look into it. So these are mine. Let me see if I can get a focus on them. Mine at the minute are a little bit busted. The lead still works, but there's like a reinforcement cord that goes through it, and that is snapped, so it's less reinforced at the moment. Oh, they both snap. So yeah, anyway, they both snap there, and they both snap there because you angle them like this. You kind of pop them in, angle, down, so they always snap in the same place. But you can just pop off that and you can buy a new lead, so it's not the end of the world. In a nutshell, in-ear monitors are just monitors for the musicians so they can hear themselves back. Back in the day, you'd have wedges on the floor. You'd have maybe 4 on a stage, and you'd have the guitarist's wedge, the bassist's wedge, the singer's wedge, and drummer might even have a wedge behind them, and they can have whatever they want in that mix. And that worked for years and years and years until in-ears came along and give a bit more of a personal style to it. The thing with wedges is it's still live, it's still out loud. So for instance, if you're a singer and you have a lot of you coming back in the monitor, that can feed into your mic, then that can feed out front, and that usually what causes feedback. You can also get very confused if it's not a big stage and you've all got wedges. It can get very loud on stage. These actually help keep a quiet stage. For instance, I recently had a gig with Britney Spears, not the real Britney Spears, but so I had plenty of guitar, I had the click track, I had some keyboards, some drums, lots of bass, and I had a little bit of vocals on there as well. So you can actually hear that here now. 2, 3, 4. Chorus 2, 3, 4. Verse 2, 3, 4. So that was actually my mix, my personal mix for that show. I managed to get it recorded and I synced up the audio to the video, and that's what I had in my ears. That can be separate to obviously what the drummer has. The drummer can have something completely different. He could just have drums and just click. But how do you actually set it up so that you can have in-ears? Yeah, I've made a little demonstration. We can go through it now. These are in-ear monitors. They are the ones that I have. They're currently around about £115, and that is me wearing them. They are a usual 3.5 jack input, which is like any usual headphone cable. You plug it in to a pack that you wear on yourself, and usually that, if it's wireless, is called the receiver, and the transmitter plugs into the mixing desk, and I'll show you where that goes in a second. So just a quick recap. In-ears plug into the wireless pack or your pack into the mixing desk. So the inputs on the desk is where you would plug all of your instruments, all of your microphones. Then you will have your outputs down below. You'll notice that there's auxiliaries and there's main, left and right. The main, left and right will feed to the front of house, so that's what everyone will hear. And the auxiliaries act as individual mixes. So you could, for instance, have a guitar in your mix, a vocal in your mix, or a bass in your mix, but these are whatever you want them to be. You can get wired packs. They are a little bit cheaper, but it does mean your route is straight into the desk, straight into one of the auxiliaries. So when you bring up the mixer, this is just an example. This is the main mix. So as you can see on the right hand side, that is my main output. So I'm going to pull that up. This is so that everyone out front can hear what I'm doing. So this will be like a normal sound check. You pull up your vocals, you might have a little bit of backing vocals. You pull everything up to how you like, and then you start looking at the buses on the right. So the buses are the auxiliaries. So I've already mapped that one to guitar. So the guitar I will bring up on the master fader for the guitar, And then anything now, for instance, if I was plugged into auxiliary 1, anything that I pull up, I'll get more of. So, for instance, I might want more guitar, more backing vocals, because that's what I do. Then I can switch to bus 2 and then work through there. And then that's how you work everybody's individual in-ear mixes. You can also have an EQ, an independent EQ for the master on everyone's in-ears. So say for instance it's a little bit tinny on the headphones. Say it's a little bit high-end on the headphones, you can pull that back or you can add more. Pretty much do whatever you like with it. With wedges, you can't actually have any cues on them. I don't think you've noticed with the Britney Spears thing that I did. There were cues on the track, so it would say verse 2, 3, 4.
Count. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can't really have that coming through wedges. You can't have click coming through wedges because everyone will hear it or potentially will hear it. So you can't really do that with wedges. With in-ears, everything is obviously just in your personal mix, so you can do whatever you like. I've had people make funny noises through them, and you'll even find that certain worship bands and certain bands really will have their singing mic and another mic next to them, and that mic will be just for talkback so that they can just direct the band as you're going through. So if they want a section a bit faster or something, they can shout double time or whatever through the mic and only you guys will hear it and it won't come out front. On the safety aspect of in-ears, I think they're incredibly important for a musician, to be honest. I take these everywhere I go in my pocket. Even if I'm at a gig, I can pop them in and they'll protect my hearing just enough so that it doesn't kill me being at a really loud gig. And to be honest, it just gives you a bit more control over what you're hearing. It can be quite difficult when you're at a loud gig and everything's blaring, you can't really hear yourself, and all you're doing is just damage to yourself. I'll definitely advise getting a pair of in-ears if you can. I will link these down in the description if you can have a look at them. They're probably the industry standard, these Shure ones are. You can't get cheaper ones, you can get way more expensive ones. You can get custom molds and things like that. Yeah, as a starting point, I would say that's good. I do have a wireless system that I also link down below as well. But the wired system I use for years, you just plug an XLR into your auxiliary, and then that XLR goes straight into the wired pack, and then the pack just goes on your bum, and you plug your in-ears into that. It's simple. The wireless setup is a little bit more complicated because you've got channels on your own physical wireless situation, for instance. And it's got 1 through 6, I don't know if it's focusing, you probably can't see it, and then 1 through 6 on here. So when you turn them on, you just need to make sure they're on the same channel. If there's interference, it means that there might be another Wi-Fi connection in the area, so you just change to a different channel until it comes on. Have you guys got any experiences with in-ears? Any problems you may have had? I've got some funny stories about sometimes, but yeah, if obviously you've got any questions, please pop them down below. Be more than happy to help if you've got any questions about in-ears or how they work or anything like that. If you could, it'd be amazing if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. That always helps. You can always support me down below on my Buy Me a Coffee page. There's like Line 6 patches and things there. But for now, take care and all the best.